What up, and here, the movie brother, what's good? Hey, today I'm reviewing the film Meet the Blacks 2, also known as The House Next Door. This film is directed by Dion Taylor. If you're not familiar with his work, you need to get familiar. His last film, Fatale, dropped last year. Excellent film. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and go check that out. This film is rated R, has a runtime of 1 hour and 30 some odd minutes. Man, full of comedians in this film. You got Mike Epps, you got Katt Williams, Lil Duval, Michael Blackson. The list goes on and on and on. And why don't you say we're getting into this thing? This film was a struggle for me. This film was a struggle, and let's talk about why. The number one thing that I struggle with in this film is that it's just so choppy, man. You know, the premise of the story is pretty straightforward, right? You got this family, the Blacks, Carl Black, played by Mike Epps. The Blacks always end up in the Blacks. These neighborhoods that are, something's always off with them. This time is no different. They have a neighbor that played by Katt Williams, a little strange. They don't know whether he's a pimp or a vampire. Maybe he's both, but neighborhood watch and everybody else in the neighborhood got a problem with it. Pretty straightforward story, okay? This film is a comedy and horror, but I mean, nothing really scary about it. I mean, it's a comedy, okay? And just things did not flow very well from scene to scene to scene. Characters pop in, characters pop out. 1 minute somebody's a vampire, the next minute they're not. I didn't know you could switch back and forth. I don't know. Somebody's hand gets cut, they're talking about their arm is cut. I don't know. I mean, I think that's editing, right? There's something around the editing, you know, the specifics of why it plays that way. I don't know. It just was what I saw, but it did not flow well at all, number one. Number two, there's some folks in the film that probably shouldn't have been in there because they just weren't funny, right? It's a comedy. You know, all comedians in the different mediums that they play within, say social media, for example, and going to the big screen, it doesn't always translate. And that's not a knock on social media, right? It's people that had amazing careers on sitcoms and the small screen TV, but it doesn't translate to the big screen. Ha Davis is in this film, not funny. It wasn't funny. Not saying he's not a funny guy, he just wasn't funny in this movie. But, you know, take somebody like Andrew Bachelor, right? Came from social media. His stuff works. He was in the first Meet the Blacks. He's in this one also. It has some great scenes, super funny. And then also you had like, this is like Mike Epps, you know, getting scared in the film. It happened. The first couple of times it was funny. It was funny the first couple of times, but after a few times, it's like, all right, bro, I get it. You're nervous and you're scared or whatever. Let's keep this thing going or whatnot. Now, what did work for the film is that Mike Epps and Lil Duval, man, those guys are just funny guys. I mean, they're the kind of comedians, and you've seen them before. You just look at them. They ain't even necessarily said anything yet, and you just start laughing. And I had multiple laugh out loud moments. Some super funny scenes up in there. Michael Blackson is hilarious, man. He comes in ranking, capping, whatever you want to call it, on Carl Black and Cronut, that's Lil Duval's character. Super funny, and I really enjoyed that. I give this film a 5 out of 10. It's a 5 out of 10. I had my little homie with me he's 13. He gave it a 7. All right, now I share that with you just to give you an idea of different audiences and stuff like that, and who might enjoy this or want to see it. Now, this film is rated R, you know, the language, and there's even a little bit of nudity up in there. So, you know, teenagers, I think it's fine. I don't know if you would want to take your little kids to go see something like this, but teenagers, I mean, there's nothing in here that they haven't seen, said themselves, or heard or whatever. So I think you're straight in that area, but hey, man, 5 out of 10 for me. Ultimately, you decide. That's what it is. I'm Ant, the movie brother. This is the place, the one and only place where I bring you nothing but the real on the real. Peace.